Okay, I created this 7.html, copy the code from 10.html, create one class, for example, container, and that container I will create another div, for example, div class equal to box. This is my two div. One is box, one is container. Here I will say hello world. Now I will give some class to the container. A container is having border 1 pixel solid blue color. This is something I gave to the container. Let's give some class to the box. I will say border 1 pixel solid black, and I'll give some width of, let's say, 200 pixel, height of 200 pixel. Similarly, I will give some width to container. I will say width of 600 pixel and height of 600 pixel. So both have width and height and border. Let's try to see it on the browser. So I have one main div, and then I have this small div. Let's open the console.log. I will move the console.log on the side so that we can see the div clearly. So now if I want to make this hello world box to the bottom of this parent div, that is a blue color div. This is black div, this is blue div. So if I want to make black div to the bottom of the blue div, and if I go to the box class, and if I say position absolute, and if I say bottom 0, so if you notice, it is dragging to the bottom of the whole browser, not this div. So to make it attached to this div, we have to give position to the parent div, that is a container. So we have to give position to the parent div. Either I can give position of relative, or I can give the position of absolute. Either of this position I have to give to the parent div. I can give relative or absolute to the parent div. Let's say I change it to relative. Once I change the position to relative of the parent div, that is container, you will see the box is now attached to the bottom of the parent div. If I want to make it center align, I can say left of 50%, and then I can say margin left of what?
Negative 100?
Negative 100 pixels. It will be exactly center and bottom of the parent box. So whenever we want to make it, attached to the parent div, we always use the parent one. We always use parent one as relative or absolute, and then internal, if we define it as absolute, it will attach to the parent div. So I can position to any corner of the parent div. For example, I can say right 0, bottom 0. Go here. If I say If I don't specify bottom 0, it is aligned to the top. Or I can say top 0, then also it is fine. And or I can say left 0, it will be aligned to 11. So I can put anywhere on the main div. Let's say if I want to make this center, so I can say top 50%, and then I will say margin, sorry, I will say margin top of minus 50 pixel. It will be aligned to the center. So this way I can adjust the two div as per as I want. There are some projects which we will be doing based on this concept. Now, if I want to make the parent div to be on the center of the page, as you know, if I make relative, I cannot make it on the center of page. The reason is relative don't know the whole width of the browser, so we cannot make relative to the center of the page. So we need to make it absolute. So if I go to container, I will make it absolute. And then let's decrease little bit height so that we can see easily on the browser how it looks. So I make both 350 pixel. Now I will make this top one to the center of the window. So to make top container to the center, I can say left of 50%, top of 50%, margin left of 175 pixel, minus 175 pixels, and I'll say margin top of minus 175 pixel. So the top container is now in the center, and let's move this hello world to the bottom of this top container. So I will choose the box and I will say bottom 0, and I will say I want to make the center, so I will say left 0, sorry, left 50%, and I will say margin left to be minus 100 pixel. So now it goes to the center of the bottom of this main parent div. So this is the most common example which always people use in the CSS when we have two divs and one div should be in the parent div. So either make the parent div as a relative or absolute. So let's write down so that you can remember. So I can say create two divs, one is parent and one is child. Make parent div as either relative, either position equal to relative or position is equal to absolute, and then you can rearrange the top div and you can rearrange the top div as per your requirement using following properties like top, left, bottom, and right. If you want to align it right, if you want to make it right, so just make right equal to 0. If you want to make it bottom, just make bottom equal to 0. If you want to align left, just make left equal to 0. If you want to align top, just make top equal to 0. And if you want to center align, just use left equal to 50% and margin left as needed. If you want to make center align from the top, you can say top equal to 50% and margin top as needed. This is about the parent div, and child div should always be absolute. Then child div will be attached to parent div. And then whenever you move parent div from any position, child div will move along with it. So this is how we make parent and child div. So we will be doing some more examples in few days regarding
Can I ask
regarding
you?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I ask you how to make the text vertical align? Is it vertical align to do the text, or is that in a different session?
This is a div. This is the div of no, you are arranging the div. So what you are
Okay.
saying? This is div, not the inside text.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
want to manipulate text, you can use text align, right, left, center kind of thing. But this is div which we are manipulating it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So this is all about CSS for today. We will do some more examples based on this position tomorrow and day after tomorrow, and it may take 3-4 more days or still more because there are a lot to do in this position. Still we are just did the basic concept of position, but we need to do some complex examples for you to understand how the position works. Now let's move to the JavaScript kind of thing. So for JavaScript, I will go into the console panel of this console panel of browser, and we will do some examples in the JavaScript. So let's say I create an object var book equal to 1 second, I don't know what happened. How this recording start. Okay, so I will create an object called as book. This is the old way of creating the object, putting the curly bracket. I told you the new way is to use function and create a new and function name to create the object. But this is the old way to create object. Just for example, I'm showing you, and I will create one name inside it. Let's say learning JavaScript, for example, and I will press enter. Now, if I want to access this name, I will say console.log book.name. I can see the learning JavaScript. Now, if I want to do console.log hello, and if I want to print the word in the next line, you will see it is giving error. So I want to print console.log, but I want to print in the 2 lines, not in the 1 line. Let's say I have multiple lines. I want to type multiple lines and print it. Right now, if I am putting in the new line, it is giving error. So to fix it, we will use another command that is called console.log. It is called backtick. It is adjacent to the one number backtick. And if I use backtick and if I try to use hello in one line and world in another line, you will see I can use hello world and it is not giving error. Previously, when I was using single quote, it was giving error. because single quote does not allow you to type multiple lines. But with backtick, you can put multiple lines in the console.log. Now, if I use console.log, I will say hello, you are reading, and here I will put in the new line. I want to put this book dot name. So how can I use this book dot name inside this backtick? So I'm using backtick and I want to use this book dot name inside this backtick. So how to use this book dot name? So to use the book dot name variable, I will say dollar sign and then I will start with the curly bracket and I will say book dot name and I will close the curly bracket. So this is the way how to use the variable. The variable is book dot name. So to use the variable, I will say dollar curly bracket and the variable name. So I will say you are reading learning JavaScript and we are now in new line and backtick close. So if I press enter, it will read like this. Hello, you are reading learning JavaScript and we are in the new line. So we included the variable inside this backtick. If I say enter, it's saying hello, you are reading learning JavaScript and we are in the new line. So this is the way to use the new line in the JavaScript. So generally whenever you create a variable, new line is not allowed. You have to write in one line. But with backtick, you can create a, so you can enter it in the new line. So if I write it like this, so that I can I'm just pasting what I typed it. So I'm putting this in the chat. Another thing which we will do now is arrow function. This is the ES6 version. Whatever I am showing you, this part is ES6 version. Okay. So I will always remind you whatever you know in the JavaScript, that is ES5. So whatever something new I am teaching, that is ES6. Since this backtick was not there in the ES5, it is there in the ES6. And I will tell you specifically, I am now showing you ES5 or I am showing you ES6. So right now all this is ES6. So this part is ES5 also, and basically not related to ES6, but we can use all ES5 things in the ES6. And specifically ES6 part is this one, when we use backtick and we use variable name in the backtick. Let's see what are the arrow functions. This is also ES6. Let's see what are the arrow functions. So let's create a function. Let me clear this. Let's create a function. I will say, let's say function, and here I will put console.log hello world. I created one function. I have to give the name to the function. I can say first function. I created a function and I did console.log of hello world. Now if I want to call this function, I will say first function and then I will put this round bracket and I will press enter. So when I say first function, it is calling hello world from this part. Now if I want to create function in the ES6 version, that is in the arrow format. So how to create that in the ES6 version? So here we will define a variable. I can define with var, I can define with constant, or I can define with let. You know, let we can use only in the curly bracket. Constant we use only when we have to define one time, it cannot be changed, or we can define using the var. So let's say right now for this simple example, I will use let. Let's say if I'll say let circle, or I will make it simple. Let area is equal to, I will pass something, I will put round bracket, or I will change the name. I will not give area. This is just, let's see, simple example, and then we'll move to the area. So for example, let second function, I will say second function is equal to, I will put the round bracket, and then I will say arrow. I will put the arrow, that is equal to sign and the greater than sign. This is called arrow. After arrow, I will start with the curly bracket, end with the curly bracket, and I will place enter, enter. So inside this curly bracket, I will put console.log hello world, and I press enter. So a second function is created, and here it is printing the hello world. So let's call this second function. I will say second function round bracket close. I'll press enter. When I press enter, it is called hello world. So these two functions are actually one and the same. If you see here, I defined with the function, and here I am putting some variable name. This is the difference between the two. And then here I name the function. Here I'm not naming the function. Here I'm only naming the variable name. And here I'm putting round parentheses here. Here I'm putting parentheses. Here I'm not putting anything. Here I'm putting arrow. And rest, whatever goes into the curly bracket, same thing goes here in the curly bracket. So these two functions are exactly same. One is the ES5 version, one is the ES6 version. So in the ES6 version, we always use this kind of function. In ES5, we were using this kind of function. So same thing. Now I will write a function in ES5. Now you have to tell me the same function in ES6. Before going to that, have you understood what are the differences between ES5 and ES6?
Yeah.
Okay, so arrow is parentheses start here, parentheses is here. We put arrow, and then we start with the curly bracket. Rest everything is same. Here we are calling with let variable name, or we can say var second function, or we can say constant second function. Here we have to say function and the name of the function. So these are the small differences. Now I will create a function in the ES5. You have to create same function in the ES6. So function is area of circle, for example, and I'm passing radius, and I'm starting curly bracket end. So you have to type it in the chat. So once I'm done, you have to write same thing in the ES6 version in the chat. So just I will show you. I will say constant I is equal to, sorry, I am putting ES6 version, sorry. I will say var pi is equal to 3.14. Constant is not in ES5. Then I will say var area is equal to pi into radius into radius. This is the formula for the area. And then I will say return area. And this is the function I created in the ES5 version. Now create same function in the arrow format in the chat, and let me see how you are writing it. Are you writing?
Yeah. They are typing.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Typing.
Mm.
Okay, right, correct.
Both of us?
Okay, let's see Kate one. Radius equal to this, constant this, light area equal to this. Yeah, both are right. She has used constant and late, and you have used var, and I am okay with both of the things. You can use constant late or you can use var. Either of these are correct. So constant and late are specifically for ES6, but the test was not to test on this internal part. Test was how you are writing the function. So the arrow function both have written correctly. So though she has used ES6 part of this too, but both are right. So internally, I don't care if you use var or if you use constant or if you use late. It's up to you. But arrow function, both of you have used arrow function. That is what I am concerned, and both have written correctly. Okay. So that means you
Great.
understood. So let me copy this part. Okay. One more thing. I will create the arrow function again, but here I will do some modification in the function. Just look here. I will say let circle area is equal to, I will pass the radius and I will say arrow function, and instead of saying curly bracket, I can also, if it is one line, I can directly write the answer also. I can say 3.14 into radius into radius semicolon. That's it. So instead of putting curly bracket, if it is one line, I can write directly that line without even putting the curly bracket. But in old function, we cannot make function without curly bracket. Curly bracket is must, even though it is one line. But with an ES6 version, if it is only one line of the code, then we can skip the curly bracket. But I would suggest do not skip the curly bracket. Let the standard follow and you put curly bracket in all the cases, even if it is one line or if it is 10 line. But you should know that you can write without curly bracket also. That's the reason I am showing you this example. So I will put arrow function. So if you are going for interview, this arrow function is something they ask if they are asking the ES6 version. So in ES6 version, they will ask the arrow function. And if it is very low level interview, then they will not ask you ES6 arrow function. If they really want to test you on ES6, they will definitely ask you arrow function. Okay, let me print all this. So I'll give this part as arrow function to you on the chat. Okay, that's it for JavaScript today. Tomorrow we will see more of ES6 version of JavaScript. And now let's move to our project. So where were we in the project? So we created login part, we created registration part, Though we have not done this intermediate page, we have not done this intermediate page. We will do that later on when time comes. Let's do the reminder. So I have to do new reminder, I have to do list reminder, and I have to edit my reminders, and I have to delete my reminders. So these are the four things which we have to do now. So I will go here and I will open my reminder one, and I will open my new reminder.php page. I will go to the modifier. I will start the template, click the template. Before going this one, have you completed the login part yesterday, which we did?
I didn't get a chance to. I have to do it tomorrow. Sorry.
Okay. Kate, what about you?
Yeah, same to her.
Okay. Okay. So problem will be, you will get too much things to be done in one day, then you will get tired. So
Yeah.
try to get half an hour, 1 hour time every day. It's better for you. Otherwise, you have to do a lot of things in one sitting. That will be little difficult. Okay, let's do the new reminder. I will go to the modifier, click the templates, apply templates to the page. I will choose the template. I will select it. Choose the document head and choose the head from this one and click OK. So this is saying my basic content. So here it is called as new reminder. So I will just say new reminder and put some enter line so that I can put the new reminder here. So now we have to see what should be in the new reminder. Let's open the database and we will see what things we should put in the new reminder. So first is the user ID. So what I will do, first I have to create the form. I will copy the form from the register one and then I will edit it. So let's open the register.php and we'll take the form and then we will edit it. We'll take this whole div and I will put it inside here, and instead of register new user I will say new reminder, and I will say let's give the form 1, so I can give anything. I'll delete this part, action part, and method will be the post. And what first thing we needed? First thing is we needed user ID. So let's create one hidden field. User ID should not be visible. So we should create a hidden field. Let's delete all the fields which are not needed. Let's delete all the field. I'll keep only one field and I'll delete all the fields. Okay, so we have one field which I will edit it and I have submit button. So now here I will click it and I will click the hidden field, and hidden field, because user ID I don't want user to see it. It is the hidden field. So I will keep the user ID in the hidden field. In value I will provide in few minutes. So I will choose the user ID. So if we see our users, LR users, and if I go to table data, so these are the 2 users registered on our website. Let's say if the top user is coming and logging in our website, then I will take the user ID of 1 and I will save it in the user ID field of the LR reminder. And if user is coming, second user is coming and logging in, then I will take the user ID 2 and I will save this in place of the user ID in the reminder column. Is this clear? Is this part clear? How I am saving user ID?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because whoever is logged in, I will take that user ID and I will save in the user ID field. So this user ID field should not be visible. User should not see the ID which I am saving it. This should be the hidden field. So I created one hidden field for the user ID. I will update the value in few minutes. So just I will first create all the fields and then I will update this value. Okay. Now first field, what is the next field? Title. So let's make this as a title. This will be the text. Type will be the text, title, placeholder, enter, title. First field is done. Second is email to whom I want to send the email. So I will copy this and I'll paste this. So I will say email. Just I'll say email, and here I will say email to whom I'm sending the email. So since this is an email field, I will make this type equal to email. Next will be the message. So for message, I will copy this first title part, and since message is the text area, so I will remove this input box of the here, and instead of the input, I will put the text area. So instead of the input, I put the text area, and I will change the name of this text area to message. Okay, let's change it to message. And I will give the class of form control to this text area. I will also give
Name.
a name is already given message. It's already Dreamweaver gave the name, and I also say number of rows. So just form control controls the width of the text area, but I have to give the number of rows. Say, let's say I say 5 rows. It will be figure out as 5 rows. And instead of title here, I will say message. And I will also create placeholder. Placeholder is new concept, so it's not coming. And here I say enter message. This is my message. Then I will say file link. I will give the file link part. So in the phase 2, we can also give the facility to upload the file on the server, our server. But right now I want to make it simple. I don't want to go into the complex coding of the file upload right now. But once you know little PHP code, we will go to file upload also. So here I will say file link. Just give the link for now. Enter file link. And then I'll say status. So status will be active or inactive. User can make it inactive also, so that let's say he create 10 reminders, but he don't want to send all. Maybe some are dummy for his testing purpose. So he can make it status active and inactive. So we have to give the status active, inactive kind of facility. So I will say status and here I will say, here I will create a radio button. I can say radio group also, and name will be status, and here I will say label. Label will be active, value will be 1. Inactive, he can say inactive also, value will be 0. So either he can say active, that is 1, inactive, that is 0. Okay, I don't want to deal with all these things. I'll just put input box, or if I give this one, let's not give the BR tag. Let's see how it looks. Okay, this looks fine. Actually, I am okay with this one. So defaultly it is created P tag, but it also created BR tag. I removed the BR tag. Okay, so this is fine. Now what is? Let's see in the database. Reminder created date. So I told you that reminder created date I will post from the PHP, and I will not ask the database to create it. So I will create an input, or I will create hidden field. I can create by typing also. Input name equal to Reminder, create a date. Type equal to hidden. ID equal to reminder, created date. So reminder created date is done, right? So I
I,
have pretty much all the fields. Any question?
created date on the other one is spelled incorrectly.
Okay.
Right, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So also I'll put the value because whenever you have hidden field, you have to give the value. And yesterday I showed you for date what to put. I can put date, year, month, day, hours, minute comes as I, seconds come as S. This is the format we use in the PHP to give the date. And we have to give the value to user ID also, which I will do it now in some time. This is my new reminder one. Initially, I give all the fields. Now, I want to give the user ID. So how will I get user ID who is logged in? So actually, if I go into the table, if I open the users table, I have two records. One is this, one is this one. It can be 100 record, it can be million records. So how to know which the user is logged in? So if I go to the login page, you will see that after the login, there is one session variable is created. That variable is called username. What it is called? username. And the value which it is coming in this username, this session variable means I can access this session variable on any of the page. So once user logs in, it creates a variable called as session username. So what it is, it creates PHP creates a variable called as session username, and this session username I can access on any of the page in my application. So once user logs in, I will know who is the user by using this variable. I can use, if I put this anywhere on the page, anywhere on the application, I can know who is logged in. So, and this is the value of email. This is the email, this is the email. So let's say if first user login, I will be getting this variable value of this will be abc@mkgalaxy.com. Let's say second user login, then the value of this variable will be abc1@mkgalaxy.com. In JavaScript, we just create a variable called as var xyz, something like that. But in PHP, we have to create a variable using the dollar sign, dollar name or dollar full name. But there are certain variables which we create with the dollar sign, but it has a special appearance that is called underscore session. Or there are other various ways of creating the variables like dollar underscore get something, or I can say dollar underscore post something. So this is the way we create variables in the PHP. So when user logs in, a variable is created that is called session username. Let's copy this username, and I will go to this binding panel, and I will click the plus sign, and I will register this session variable as username. So whenever here I can see what are the variables registered on my website. If I go to login.php, there is one user group is also created. Okay, so what is the value of the group? Value of the group is, let's see, where is the value of the group? So right now user group is null, empty. It is giving empty one. Maybe it is created when we use access level. So right now, don't worry about the user group. Just remember user name. So now answer me. Is this variable or something different? Is this a variable or it is something different?
I would say I think it's a variable.
It is
Yeah.
variable. It
Yeah.
is called session variable. Whether is it available on all the pages or only this page?
All the pages.
All the pages. Since it is session, I can access this variable on all the pages. So if user is logged in with this email, I can know that user is who is logged in is user ID 1. That means because he logged in with this email. If user is logged in with this email, I know that user is logged in with second row, and I can get any data which I want. How to get the data, I will tell you. But just remember that I can get any data. So now this variable is available on all the pages. So if I go to the new reminder, I want user ID, but user is logged in and I saved the email address instead of the user ID. So what is saved in the session variable? What is
Email.
saved in what is saved in this username, username?
Email.
Email. But I want user ID because here I have mentioned that I want to put the value of user ID. So to get the user ID, I will create one record set. So let's create one record set. And here I will give the name of record set as RS user. And I will say connection is con, and I will choose a table which I want to use. Since I want to get the user ID from this table, LR users, I choose LR users. Now I want to pass the filter. In the filter, I will choose the email. Since username is email, that's the reason I am choosing email. If username was first name, I would have chose first name, but that's not the case. We know whenever we log in, the email field is username. So I will choose email, and instead of URL parameter, I will use a session variable. Why I am using session variable?
Because it can access every page.
Because it is saved in the session. We saw it is saved that $_session username. That means that variable is saved under session variable. That's the reason I will choose the session variable. And with what name it is saved in the session variable? It is saved in the session variable with the name of username. So I am selecting all the records from users table where email is equal to session variable username. Why I am using email? Because I know my session variable is email. And why I am using session variable? Because I know in the login page it is saved as the session variable. Why I am using username? Because I know in the login page it is saved with the variable name called as username. So session variable with username is equal to the email in the database. Is this part clear? This part?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If I say click OK, now still we are not done yet. Still I won't get the user ID because if you see the login page, session variable is created here. And if you go top, it is saying session start. Session variable can only be accessed if in the top of the page you mention session start. If you don't mention session start, even if you use session variable like this $_session, it will not work. It will give empty value. It will not understand what is the meaning of session. So to use the session variable on any page, we have to start in the top with the session start. But if I go to reminder page, in the top there is no session start. Is there any session start?
No.
Here we have session start. Can you see session start here?
No.
Carrie?
No.
No. So even if I use session username, it is useless. It will not do its work. So to make it work, I can either say session start manually. I can say this session start like here manually, then it will work. Then I can use it. But there is another way to put that session start. And that way is called, if I go to server behavior, I'll go to user authentication and I will use the restrict access to page. I will use this restrict access to page and I will use top one, username and password. I will not use second one because we don't have access level in the current project. And if user is not logged in, I will redirect user to login page. So I will say send the user to login page. So that means if user is logged in, he will be able to access this page. This is the new reminder, and I don't want any third party who is not logged in should access this page. So we should restrict access to this page by username and password, and if user is not logged in, I will redirect user to login page. And if I click OK, so you will see restrict access behavior is added here. If I go to the code, you will see session start is automatically added by the Dreamweaver. So we don't need to add session start manually. Got
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is better, manual or the way or through Dreamweaver?
We will always use Dreamweaver to put the restrict access on all the pages. So
Okay.
if we are not using this behavior, then we have to put manually. Otherwise, session will not work. But in our project, we will use in all pages wherever member can access. We have to use this restrict access to page. So Dreamweaver will automatically add the session start. So no need to add it manually. Okay, so now it starts the session and it does check if user is logged in or not. If it is not logged in, it will send the user back to the login page, and then we get this record set, and record set means we are asking to get the details of the user with session username. Now if I print out this one, I will show you how to see the user. If I print out this part, you will see the one who is logged in. I can see all the details of that user ID, email, one second, sorry, user ID, email, password, first name, last name, gender. I can get any details of that user, but I'm not concerned with any of the details. What I'm concerned with now, I don't need any of the details. I need only one detail. What detail I need for this page? Why I created this record set? Why I created this record set? What I was looking for?
User ID.
User ID. So I need only the user ID. Rest all details are there, but I don't need it. I will not use those details right now in this page. I will use only user ID. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So to use the user ID, I will click this user ID here, and then I will click this part icon, dynamic icon, and I will go to the record set RS user, and I will choose the user ID because I want the user ID who is logged in, and I'll click OK. So the one who is logged in, I can see its value is coming here. Now, if you want to see with whether I am doing correctly or not, just we will right click it and inspect. And if I inspect here, you will see in the user ID, it is going as a value of 1. Why it is going as a 1? Because I selected the user ID and I clicked the dynamic icon. I went to the record set which I created and I chose the user ID. And since I don't need any of these fields, I can open the record set RS user and I can choose only the user ID. I don't need any other field. So I selected only user ID. I can select multiple also by clicking the control key and which fields I need. But since I don't need any field, I need only the user ID. I will click the selected and I will select only the user ID and I will click OK. Now, if I refresh the page, you will see I have only user ID in the top because I need only user ID. I don't need any other thing because I want to put hidden field as the user ID who is logged in. Is it clear up to this point?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I selected the user ID and I put this user ID here in the user ID column. Now I want to insert this reminder in my table, and to insert that record set, insert this table data in my table, what is table name called LR reminders, I will go in the server behavior, or I will go in the insert application object, insert record. I will choose the second part. 99% I will not choose the first part because it creates the form automatically, which I don't want, because I want the bootstrap form to be used on my all websites. So I will not use the first part. I will use only the second part. So I will say insert record. So here I will choose the connection. I will choose the table LR reminder, and first is the reminder ID, which I don't care because it's a primary key. It is auto increment. I will see user ID is getting the value from form user ID. Title is getting value from form title. Email is getting from form email to message, file link, status, reminder, all are getting values from the form. And after inserting, I will redirect user to list reminder, because once user created reminder, I don't have any confirmation page. I will directly send the user to list reminder where he can see all his reminders. So after new reminder, I don't need confirmation page. Once he has added the details, I will send the user to list reminder where he can see all his reminders. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's click OK, and I will say OK. Once I say OK, this page is created, and you will see three functionality to be added in this page. One is the restrict access. One, I use record set to get the user ID, and one, I insert the record. So these are the three functionalities used in this page. Now let's try to add the reminder and see how it is going. Okay, let me delete this printer. I did printer, right? Oh, printer. Okay, so now I will put the title. Let's say to my friend. For example, I am creating reminder for my friend. Friend name is, let's say, AB. No, maybe XYZ. And then I will put the message. Hello, friend. This message is for you. Something like that. And I can give the file link something. Let's put some link. Maybe right now I don't have any link. I will just put google.com. Just that we need to give the file. In real world, it will be some file. And in still real world, I will give the user to upload the files. Maybe in the later phase of the project, we can add more functionalities. But right now, I don't want to use upload functionality on my server. That's the reason I will give the link and make the status active or inactive. So let us make active, and I click submit. When I click submit, it's going to list reminder.php, which we haven't built yet. We will build it now. So is this insert part clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I will ask you, what we did, we created a form. Then we created one hidden field user ID. Why we created hidden field user ID?
We have to make sure which user is currently creating the reminder.
Right. So we should know which user is creating the reminder so that we can show him his reminders. And in the reminder table, we have user ID. So we need to put the user ID. But since we don't have user ID in the session, we have only email in the session. And that is the reason we created this record set. And what does this record set do? It takes the email and finds the user ID. And we put that user ID in the hidden field of this user ID. And then once we created this form, we will use the insert record to insert the record into the reminder table. Three-step process. One is restrict access, one is record set, one is insert record. These are the three functionalities for this page. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go to the list reminder page now. So here we have to display all the reminders which I have created. So I will go to insert, and I will go to the modifier. I'll go to the templates. I will apply templates to the page. I'll choose the LR. I will select. Choose the head. I will select the head. Click OK. So this is my list page. So for list page also, I will copy some part of my HTML from the add part. So initially, let's take whole div and then I'll delete the form because we don't need the form. But we need the div tag. We need a div tag with the class row and second div tag with the class called MD. And this is called list reminders. And I don't need this form. Okay, so we have list reminder in our page. Now let's list all the reminders. Let's list all the reminders on the page. Now I will show you some SQL. Do you know MySQL? So to learn something, I will explain you some MySQL terms. So these are my user ID, right? If I want to select all the users in my LR users table, what I will do? I will use select star from LR users. Do you know anything about this statement?
Not really.
Not really.
LR user.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I want to select users or select records from the table, I use the syntax called as select. Star means all the columns. This is user ID, email, password, first name. From table name. What is the table name? LR users. Now if I run this query, I will see all the records from the LR users table. Now if I want to select only the record with email of abc@fkgalaxy.com. So here I can put one more condition called as where email is equal to abc@mkgalaxy.com. Now if I run this, you will see only one record coming which has email of abc@mkgalaxy.com. So first line will say to select star means all the columns from table name, from which table? LR user, where email equal to abc@mkgalaxy.com. So this is the first statement which we made, and second statement we give the condition. What condition I want? I want where email is equal to this. Let's go to the reminders table. Now we have only one record. So if I want to select from this table, what I will do, look here. Select star from table name. Table name is LR reminder, where I will say where user ID is equal to 1, because this user ID is equal to 1. If I run this, you will see this record is coming. The one record which we added. Just now we added one record, right? You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Now if I say user ID 2, what will happen? Since there is no user ID, but what will happen if I pass user ID equal to 2?
Empty.
Empty. So it will not give any result. So in the MySQL, whenever we want to get the data, we use a select statement and then we use where clause to give the condition, right?
Yeah.
Now if I want to join the two tables, that is reminder table and the user table, I want to join, so that let's say so that I will select few records from reminder column and same fields which are there in the users table. For example, if I choose first record, I want to get all these fields, for example, title, email, message, file link. But since user ID is 1, I want to select this user ID 1, email of the user, first name of the user, last name of the user, all these details also. So I will join these two tables to get the data which are present in the reminder, but which are attached to the users table with the user ID, so that I can get extra details also, like first name, last name, other details also. Because if I select only from the reminder, I will get only user ID. But if I want to know what is the first name of the user who created it, that we get from the users table. That is, first name is this, last name is this, gender is this, birth year. So I need to combine both the tables. So see how we are combining both the tables. I will say select star from LR reminders. Okay. Now I have to combine the second table. What is the second table? LR users. So to combine the second table, I will use inner join. It is called inner join. I will say inner join and I will give the name of the second table LR users. Now on which field both are related, which is the common field in both the tables? One is LR reminders has user ID. LR users is also having the user ID. So which is the common field in both the places?
User ID.
User ID. So I will say on LR reminders dot user ID, that is this table name dot user ID is equal to LR users dot user ID. Since both have common field, we have to join both the tables on the field, same field which are common in both the places. So here I am saying table name and the field name, table name and the field name. And if I run this query, you will see I am getting the reminder detail, and after this is over, I am getting the user details also, first name, last name, gender, birth year. So I am getting the record from both the tables. Is this clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
This is first time you are doing. We will do lot of queries because I want you to become master of MySQL also, because this is the part of PHP development. We have started just writing the code in MySQL. It will become more clear when we do more and more queries, and we will do more things. So this is simple. Just remember that we are joining two tables using the keyword inner join. And then we put on. On means we have to tell which is the common field. We have to define the common field. So if I want to write it down in the simple language, I will say here I am using the first table, that is LR reminder. I am saying select star from LR reminder. And here in this line, I am joining with another table, that is LR users. So here I am saying inner join with LR users. How I am joining? Using keyword or using the word inner join. And here, what I am doing here we are joining using the common field. What is the common field? Common field is user underscore ID. This is the table name and field in the table name. This is another table name and field in the table name. So don't remember this one. Don't try to learn it kind of thing. Just try to understand that we are selecting from first table, joining with the second table on the field which is common. Okay. Now I can put one more thing in it. I can say where. And now I can give where from first table also. I can give where from second table also. For example, I can say where LR users dot email is equal to abc@mkgalaxy.com. So I can say where LR users dot email equal to abc@mkgalaxy.com. If I run this, you will see one row is selected because the email which is used for the user ID is abc@mkgalaxy.com. If I go to LR users, there are two users. One is ABC and ABC1. What if I put abc1@mkgalaxy.com? what will be the result? Whether I will get the record or I will not get the record.
No.
Why I will not get the record?
Nobody's email is abc at
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Okay, so the reason is that when we join these two tables, we are joining with user ID should be same. But we are saying the user in the second users table should be abc1 at mklxc.com. That means the user ID is 2. So it will try to match 2 in the reminder table, but there is no record with user ID 2 here. Since it will not find any record of user ID 2 in the reminder table, it will give empty result. So if I run this one, it will give empty result. So that means whoever is logged in, I can put his email address and I can get all his details. But if I put the user who is not logged in, let's say another user who is abc1 at mkgalaxy.com, if I use his email, I'm not getting any record. So if Kate is logging in, she will get only her reminder. If Carrie is logged in, I will pass Carrie's email and she will get only her reminder. Right now, if I'm putting ABC, I'm getting all the reminders which ABC has created. If I put ABC1, I'm getting all the records which ABC1 has created, but since ABC1 has not created any record, we are not getting any result. So we are joining the two tables and we are mentioning the condition that the user's email should be this one. So we will get all the reminders for this user. So just write down, don't try to overthink on it. It will be clear when we go more and more kind of thing. Don't try to learn kind of thing. Just try to understand things and see it. When we do multiple times, it will automatically go into your brain. If you try to remember it, you will not really understand it. So just try to understand it. Don't remember it. It will automatically go into your head when we do many examples, such examples. So right now, I want to list reminders which are my reminders. That means I will use same query, this query, but instead of passing this email, I will pass what? In my code, I will take this whole part same, but instead of this email, what will I put? I will put $_session username. Why I'm putting this one? Because this is where we have saved the email. This is where we get the email of the user who is logged in. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it is going a little bit out of control. Okay, let's do it. It will be simple. So what I will do, I will open and I will create the record set. Since I have to select the records, I will choose the record set. So to make it easy, I will try to do some changes in the code, but it is little hard coded. Let's forget if I'm not doing this join part. Let's say if I know the user ID, select star from LR reminders where user ID is equal to 1. If I know the user ID, I can get the record directly from the reminder. Is it clear? I'm getting the record directly because I'm passing user ID equal to 1. I'm getting user ID equal to 1. Okay, so this is one way of getting the data. Let's go in the list reminders and we will click the plus sign and I will click the record set. Here I will say RS reminders and I will choose the connection. I will choose the table LR reminders and then, or I can say LR users, and I will choose the email with session variable. What is the session variable? Username. And then I will go to the advanced level. In the advanced part, I will put the same query which I built few minutes back. This one. So it is saying select star from LR users, but I will say from LR reminders inner join LR users. So instead of LR users, I will say LR reminders inner join LR users. Here I am saying where LR use. Here I will say on. I will copy it and I will put on here. And then I will say where instead of email, here it's saying email. Instead of email, I will say LR users dot email. And it has automatically created the cold name. Don't worry about cold name now. I will explain you tomorrow what is this cold name means. Indirectly, this cold name is taking the email with which user is logged in. It is taking the session username, that is the email with which user is logged in. So what we did, we started with select star from LR reminders, inner join LR users on the common field, that is user ID equal to LR users user ID, where LR users dot email is the email who is logged in. So this is a special way to take the variable. I will explain you tomorrow how they are taking this cold name kind of thing. For now, just remember that they are taking the email of the user who is logged in. And I will click OK. And then I will go here. I know it is going little out of your level. It's little difficult now as per your understanding, but I want to repeat this so that you should know something, and later on when we do this again, you will be little more comfortable. I will not do anything on the page now because I want you to understand this thing again. Let me try to explain this again because it's little difficult, it's tricky. Okay, let's try to understand how we do the select statement. Let's say if I want a user, let's say I change the first name to maybe Naveen. Let's say I want the user whose first name is Naveen. So I will say select star from LR users where first name is equal to Naveen. So if I say this one, it will give me the user record with the first name of Naveen. I can put any condition here. Here I have to choose a select star from table name where I can put any condition here which I want. Let's try to see whether you have understood or not. So this is the table data for reminder. Now I want to select the record from reminder table where email to is xyz@mkgalaxy.com. So how will you write the statement?
Select
Yeah, write down in the
star.
chat.
Oh,
Right.
Mm.
So I want all the reminders where email to is xyz@mkgalaxy.com. Select star from LR reminders where email to is equal to, you have to put full email abc@mkgalaxy.com, but it's
yeah.
correct.
Uh,
Select star from LR. It's not users, it is LR reminders.
Reminders. Okay.
Okay. So this part you both got it, both because both have written correct one, though there was a typo error. Now I will select star from LR reminders. I will join with the LR users, inner join LR users on.
Oh,
On will always be same because we have only one common field. So we will not change this part. So this join, if whenever we do join these two tables, this part will always be same irrespective of anything because both are inner join. There is outer join also, but I don't want to concentrate on outer join today. We will do outer join in some later time. But I am using inner join by putting both the tables, and I am using on the common fields. Since both have this common field, so it will be same in all the cases. Whenever we join these two tables, this on will be same, and this part will also be same. Only change will be the where clause. Now I will ask the where clause, and you have to answer me. So I want the reminders and users. I want records from the reminder and user. So we use this inner join. I will say where first name is Naveen. So what I will do first, I will give some examples. I will write down, then you will write down. So I will say lr users dot first name is equal to Naveen. So that means it will check LR users first name is Naveen. That means user ID is 2, and then it will take this user ID, go to the LR reminder, and I will see is any record with user ID 2. Since we don't have any record with the user ID 2, it will return null. So if I run this part, it will not give any result because based on this, it is getting user ID 2, and user ID 2 does not have any reminder in the reminder table. So it is giving null. Let's say if I change this user ID to 2, then whether this will give the result or no.
yes.
No.
Yes, because we have Naveen in the users one. It will get the 2 user ID. It will go to the reminder. It will see any user with 2 is there or not. Yes, it is there. So it will give the record. So let's select and run it. So we are getting the record. Now I will ask you. This is the reminder. This is the user table. Let's say I want the record from both the table. So you will use, if I say both the table, you will use this line common, where I will say, let's change the last name to Bajaj. So I want where last name is equal to Bajaj. You have to write down the query.
You want the whole thing or just from the where?
All things.
All thing.
Yeah, whole thing. Copy paste I have given in the first time. I have put it in the chat. You can copy
Okay.
paste from that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, select star from reminder inner join users on this where email is equal to this. This is correct for the
Yeah.
email. Okay, this is correct for the email.
Yeah. Where last name is equal to.
Yeah, equal to Bajaj. So this quote is going, maybe this is problem with chat or what? I think it's problem with chat.
Oh, sorry, that was a quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So now tell me one thing. We can put anything, first name or last name in the lr users dot last name or lr user dot first name or lr user dot email. Which field we will take to get the logged in user ID? We will use first name, last name, or email.
Email.
Why email?
It's unique.
The reason, it's not about uniqueness. There is also another reason. We save the email in the session variable. So we have the email address of the user. We don't have the first name on all the pages. We don't have last name on all the pages. We have only email on the pages. So we will use this query with email only, because email is something we have in the session. I will say abc1 at mkgalaxy.com. If I select this, run this, I will get the record. Let's go to reminder table and revert it to first user ID and save it. Now if I use this one, it will give result or no?
Yes.
This LR reminder is 1, user ID 1, and LR users is using abc at mkgalaxy is 1. But here I am using abc1 at mkgalaxy.com. So whether I will get result or no?
No.
Because if I go with this email, it will go with this email. It will take the user ID 2, and then it will take the user ID 2 and go to the reminders table. It will check 2 is there, no. So it will give no records. But if I put abc at mkgalaxy.com, whether I will get record or not?
Yes.
Because it will go to abc at mkgalaxy.com in the users table. It will get the user ID 2. It will take the user ID and go to the reminder table and see. Oh, it will take the user ID 1. It will go to the reminder table. It will see 1 and it will give the result. So this will give the result. So when I want to see all the reminders of particular email address, I will use this query and then I can get all the reminders of that user. So that is what we have written here in this reminder, list reminder. We created same thing what we created there. We went to the advanced step and we put same query, select star from reminder, join users on reminder user ID equal to user ID, where email equal to abc at mkgalaxy.com. Here I'm using select star from reminder inner join users on reminder.user ID equal to users.user ID, where users.email is equal to cold name. Cold name is a special way, I will explain you tomorrow. It is a way to access the session variable in the Dreamweaver. So right now it looks like cold name, but cold name is nothing but the session variable which we have saved in the username format, and it is actually the email address of the user. So if I click OK, and if I want to see the result, I will do the printout to show you the result. So if I refresh, if I run this page, okay, it's not showing anything. Let's see why. Because we don't have session variable. Though we have called the session variable, we don't have session start. So to make it session start, what we have to do? We will add the restrict access to the page, and if user is not logged in, we will send user to. Okay, it got closed. So here I will put user authentication, restrict access to the page, and if user is not logged in, send user to users login.php, and I'll click OK. Since now we have session start, that means this will work. So I am getting the record of the message which I am getting here in here. It is same thing I am getting here. So if I have 10 records, I will be able to show all the 10 records. If I have 100 records, I will be able to show 100 records. So it is only getting the records which I have created. Why it is taking like that? Because I have put the condition where email equal to the session username, and this username is nothing but the email. So I will get all the records for my email address. Right now I have not put anything on the view, so you are not getting anything on the view. But I will put this view tomorrow. But is this clear? Whatever I explained you, is it clear, or you are feeling little nervous?
I
Clear.
think it just takes practicing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes practicing. Try to watch the video again if you don't understand it. We will repeat this list part tomorrow again, so that it should go into your brain. It should be stuck into your brain. And we will try to do some more exercises in this select part tomorrow. We will add more records, and so that it will be clear how we can select the records from two tables. Selecting record from one table is very easy. We select the one table and we put the first where clause. But with the two table, we need little understanding. Since this part will be same in all the queries, only this where clause will be different. Okay, so we'll do little more exercise tomorrow on this one. You create the new reminder page, which is very easy, which does not require any brain, and the list reminder. We will again see what exactly how we created this advanced statement and what is the code name. So we will see this code name tomorrow. Okay, let's go to you have some problem.
Yeah, I just